back to the show for another tutorial. Thank you for joining me. In this week's tutorial I'm going to paint something which I had on my channel before it was hacked a long time ago, and I could never find the tutorial for it. So it's like a tutorial really on grass and trees, and there's a kind of a walkway going through a field with some people walking through the field and a couple of little flowers and things like that just here and there. It's nice, it's simple, but it's really eye-catching, and I have a white canvas for this. Now I went up to the hotel and I hung the painting, which I did, of the wedding couple with the little white pergola kind of a thing. I went up, I hung the painting, and I got a great response. I'm going to put some photographs up on the screen for you now to show you how I got on. Now there is the photograph. Isn't it absolutely wonderful? It looks, the painting rather, it looks fantastic up in that, and it's a lovely spot. And the greys, the reason I done the painting from this angle was because there was some lovely greys in the chairs, and there was some lovely, you know, the kind of grey colour of the stonework I think on the floor. It really complements the frame, and it really complements the wallpaper on the background as well. So I was kind of bearing all that in mind when I was painting that painting. So lots of kind of greys complementing with some greens as well. So there it is. It looks fantastic. I was very happy with it. It's quite a big painting, and the frame really does set it off nicely, and it sets nicely into the on the wall, doesn't it? So we've had lots of great responses. Let's hope you get some business for it. You never know, you might get a couple of commissions from other hotels. The word goes around, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's it. I really enjoyed painting that. It was fantastic. Now back to today's one. So I'm going to swing the camera and show you what I have here set up. Okay, I have just a simple wide canvas. It's 20 inches wide by 8 inches high, and it's going to be very kind of a wide panoramic sort of a view. Okay, I have a cup of tea here next to me because I love my tea, and these are my colours. Now I have titanium white, I have some cadmium yellow, some naples yellow, a little burnt sienna, some burnt umber, some black, some cadmium red, alizarin crimson, and phaylo blue. That's just a nice selection of colours, I think. Yeah, it's kind of a nice all-round type of a palette, I suppose. You could do a lot with this kind of a palette. So there we are. Don't go anywhere. Let me turn the camera here again so you can see me. And I was going to do a competition this week, but I think I will leave it till next week when I have more time. I want to do something nice, something special next week for a competition. And I'm going to give the painting away, and I will also give with it a set of brushes, a set of stubby brushes, a couple of little finer detail brushes, perhaps a few tubes of paint, the paint I use here. Okay, so I might buy a little set of paints, give them away as well for the competition with the painting, okay, for Christmas. Now if it doesn't happen before Christmas, it'll happen on or just after Christmas, but I will try and get it done next week. Okay, I just want something, I want to find something nice to paint for the competition to give it away, and the week after that we will pick a name out. I will pick a name randomly on my phone. I'll just flick and pick a name. So make sure and do leave a comment in next week's video, okay? If it's the competition week, do just leave a comment, a quick comment down on the comment section, so I can pick something from all of those comments then. I think that's the best way to do it, really. So yes, let's crack on and have a bit of fun with this. I'm looking forward to this. I must frame this and stick it up in the restaurant for Christmas, because I've got a lot of good feedback on these types of paintings. So I'll hang it up and see if we can sell it. Yes, for Christmas. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoy it. Grab your stuff and let's go and have a bit of fun. Okay, let's go. There we are. There's a photograph. I put it across there. Isn't it wonderful? It's very eye-catching, and you know, I just wanted to do this again because I had a lot of great feedback on this tutorial when it was up on the last channel, and I just lost the tutorial. I don't know where I put it, and there was a lot of kind of background noise going through the tutorial as well. So I didn't like it for that reason either. Now, here I am, all set up. The first job I'm going to do is a quick sketch just with my little brush, okay? So it takes lots of turpentine, and let's just take a little tiny dab of burnt umber there, okay? let's just take a little bit of burnt umber, just for a quick little couple of marks. And now that photograph is more kind of square, whereas this is more long and narrow. I think this should add to the painting and make it much nicer. So I'm going to come down like this now, look, and it sort of comes down and meets in the middle, doesn't it? And it goes back off up again. And then we have the little footpath that goes right across the center, doesn't it? So we're going to go around like that, and I'm going to come way right out like this. Now this is how I create perspective in the painting, okay? So when it's closer to you, it's going to be much wider, and as it goes off into the distance, it's going to be much narrower. So it's going almost from nothing like that, and then it opens right up like this. You see? Now we have nice perspective, don't we? And we have a little bit of grass just in the middle as well. So that'll make it nice as well, look, you see? And that's it, that's all we have to do. Simple, you see? Isn't that so easy? Now I'm going to make the sky nice and simple, and what I might do is I just want to check my canvas to make sure it's... I only primed my canvas just earlier, and I hope it's okay. I hope it's not too kind of dry or something, you know, that kind of dry sort of a feeling. I gave it a quick coat of primer just earlier. What I might do is, I might take a little drop of linseed oil. Just a tiny drop of linseed oil, okay? Regular linseed oil. Now it's artist's linseed oil. It's not just normal linseed oil. It's for artists, it's for painting, okay? So I'll take a bit of that, and I might just rub a tiny amount of that just across the canvas very quickly. Just across the sky. And what that will do is just help the paint flow across my canvas, okay? That's all. Now, there's a bare amount on this. It's very, very thin, very thin. I suppose you could call it like a liquid clear type of medium, but it's just linseed oil. And now this will probably dry in a little bit, but it will help with the paint soakage on the canvas, and it will stop the paint drying in too fast. Okay, small brush, small little flat brush. A medium stubby would do just fine as well. This one is a little bit too soft for me at the moment. I want to wear it down a little bit more. This is a little bit tougher. So a synthetic brush, a nice tough synthetic brush, dampen that with some turpentine, and let's take first some phaylo blue. Okay, now that's too much. I only want a tiny bit. It's a very light blue I'm going for. So lots of white into this. Let me see now, can you see everything here properly? You can see it fine, can't you? There we are. Lots of white, and let's go up here now, and let's go across this. Now look how well that's smoothing across. Isn't that just wonderful? Look at that. Lovely and smooth and creamy. That's what I want. That's what I'm after. A nice creamy texture, nice and soft. Now as it comes down, I want to make it more lighter. I want to add more white into this, so more and more white as it comes down. Okay, and I'm going to do some nice clouds in this now as well. Now tiny bit of blue and lots of white. Okay, there we go. That wonderful. So bring it all the way down, right down to that line, and I use just white on its own as it comes right down, because I have a little bit of blue in my brush already, so it's kind of mixing slightly with that anyway to make a very pale blue. So just bits of white. Now we have lots of trees down the end as well, so don't worry about going right down to the line exactly, okay? And I'm going to just cover this bit of kind of undercoat or primer or something which is on the canvas. Now this, you see, I had this canvas for a very long time. It's there for a while, so there's little bits of paint and stuff like that around here and there on the canvas, but it's fine, I can still use it. Now we have a very light colour there, don't we? Okay, that's pretty good. And what I'm going to do now is I will switch brushes. Okay, I'm going to go for a slightly smaller brush, and I'm going to pick up, now that's kind of starting to kind of soak in very slightly into that canvas. It's because of the undercoat that I used, the primer. It's a very sort of a chalky kind of a primer. I may have to buy another one, but it's just very kind of chalky, and it tends to kind of be very dry and lots of soakage there. So that was a mistake on my part. So if you're using a normal canvas, it will still be wet. Mine is kind of drying slightly. I'm going to make some nice clouds now for this, some nice bright clouds, something with a bit of colour. So I'm going to take some white, just white now, a dry brush, nothing else. I'm going to take a hint of Naples yellow. Okay, now let me get some more. A nice hint of Naples yellow and a hint of crimson, okay? Now what I want to achieve is a very bright, sunlit kind of a coloured cloud. So I suppose kind of equal amounts of, perhaps a little bit more Naples yellow than crimson, if you know what I mean. I want to make them very bright, as if the sun is kind of hitting them, coming across the sky. So, lots of paint on your brush now, you see that? Lots and lots and lots of paint. And let's just go and have a bit of fun with some clouds. Now, I'm going to imagine the sun is coming from the left hand side. So let's put this on the left hand side here, like so. And just go around in circles like this. Now when it gets started, give it a wipe on some tissue. I want to make this slightly, a little bit more pink in this, I think, because that will avoid any greens. If it's too yellow, it may tend to go a little bit green when it mixes with that blue. So now we have, look, a little bit of pinky sort of a tone going through the sky, and I'm kind of just flicking it and softening it back into that blue slightly, okay? And this is just nice, simple clouds. There. Isn't that lovely? Now we can put another one around here in front of that, so we then create layers of clouds, you see? Down there. Soften it off into the blue. Isn't that lovely? Now give your brush a little clean, pick up some more, and let's go across, let's go up here and do one small one. I won't go too crazy now with all of these clouds, just a nice little one up here, and soften it again into the blue, right across. Let's go again, let's put one here, okay? Just to break up the canvas. I don't want to have everything over just on one side, so it's nice to break up the canvas like this a little, and pick up some more white in there, and we could even go across the bottom as well with a couple of kind of fluffy clouds off in the horizon, like so. Okay, now I'm just going to take a quick look at this, see what we have. Now that's not bad. I do want to add a little bit of shading to the clouds, just to make them a little bit more realistic. First I want to take a sup of tea. Now, shading on the clouds, I'm basically going to mix a little mauvey type of a shade. So a little crimson, a little blue, okay, a little blue, a little crimson, and a tiny hint of burnt umber. Just the tiniest hint, okay? Now, let's take a look at this. Let's go here. Let's try this one. I'm just going on the back end because the sun, remember, is catching the top corner. So I'm only going down on the back end with this. And you can even soften them in as well. With your finger, you see. So I'll put another one. And I'm just barely dabbing here and there, okay? Just very, very lightly. Soften them in with your finger. It does help just to soften them in with your finger a little bit, okay? Now, it's not bad now, is it? Put a little bit over here, and it's kind of slightly on the more pinky side, I suppose, rather than just blue. Another little bit of smoothing in here, soften them back. And that would nearly do. I think that would probably even do fine for now. It's just a simple sky I want. I don't want to be putting a very complicated sky in the painting. What I will do is give my brush a quick wipe and pick up some of the lighter colour we mixed earlier. So a little tiny touch of crimson with a tiny touch of Naples yellow and lots of white. And I will just add a little 1 or 2 tiny layers in front of that purple there. You see, look, just to create layered clouds and even brighten some of those edges as well. And look, soften it in then, you see. Now, would you like me to zoom in, or is it okay? I think it's probably okay for now, is it? It's just nice simple clouds, that's all. That's what we're trying to achieve here now today. Nice little simple clouds. Let's put another 1 or 2 in front of this. And that will create more layers and give more depth as well. And let's bring 1 or 2 across here like that. Now that's the sky finished. Okay, nice and simple, nothing too complicated. Done. Next we have little rows of trees across here, don't we? And I might use, I think I'll just stick with this brush for now. Will we? Let me see, let me think. Or I could use my bigger stubby. I'll use my medium stubby brush, okay? I'm going to dampen that, and I'm going to use warm greens for this. I'm not going to use cold greens, so I'm just going to use black and yellow, alright? So a little black. Now, can you see okay there? Is there something reflecting on the palette? There is. And I think I know what it is. Bear with me while I fix this. There's a bit of light coming through my window, that's what it is. Okay, let me try it this way. No, that's not working either. So I think we'll just have to work with what we have. It'll move across, the sun is moving across outside and it's coming across the windows and all sorts of things, and it's putting light through my window. Right, let's just get some black and some yellow for now. Cadmium yellow and a little black, okay? 2 simple colours which make a lovely green. A lovely rich dark green. And let's start with that. Now, I'm going to make them low in the middle, and they're going to go slightly higher than here and there. Look, let's just create some little trees here and there, alright? Let's go along. So it's varied. I find the mistake a lot of beginners make, even I made this mistake when I was starting to paint, when I was learning to paint, is that people make it too uniform. So they go along and they make everything exactly the same, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way along. And they don't kind of vary the bushes or the trees. It's good to kind of change them up and make them bigger or make them smaller as you go along. Okay, don't be afraid to do that. That's the best way to do it, because it makes it much more natural. Now I'm going to do the same across on the other side. Lots of yellow, a bit of black, and I'll just put 1 here, 1 kind of biggish one here, and all I'm doing is dabbing. See? Dab, 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 dab. I want to keep that cloud. That's quite a nice cloud there, isn't it? Right along here, like so. Okay? Now, the next thing I want to do is, I'll take a smaller brush, okay? The one I use for the clouds, perhaps. I'll take some black and some burnt umber. And I'm going to add some dark shading into some of these just on the right hand side, because remember, that's where the sun is casting on the left, so the shadows will be on the right. So a couple of shadows just here and there on the right hand sides of these little trees. Look, just dab it in there. Don't be too fussy with it, just dab it in like so. And a couple here, couple there. And the really dark shadows will bring out the lights in a moment. They'll really add to the painting, okay? Let's take even a bit of burnt umber just on its own and put a dab of burnt umber in here and there. Okay, now stop and take a look now what we have. So we have our darks in, yes? Now it's time for some highlights. And you could even use the same brush for the highlights. Let's just take some cadmium yellow and a hint of Naples yellow, I think, just for now. Nice simple colours, look. And let's just, with your brush kind of splayed out like this, you see the way it's kind of just stuck out all over the place? Let's just go along on the left hand side and add some lights. And I'm very gently tapping, that's all I'm doing, look. Tap, 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 very gently. And that's one. Isn't that lovely? Let's go down here and catch a little bit of light on this one. Little bit here and there on that. When it gets started, give it a rub on your tissue, just the tip of the brush to keep it clean, that's all. And then let's just go along here and there on some of those where the sunlight may catch. Now be careful not to kind of overdo this as well. Just keep it subtle, a little bit here and there is loads. You don't have to go crazy with this. Let's take a hint of sienna in this, warm it slightly. You see, that's a nice little colour now, isn't it? And working across here. And there we go. That now is our basic trees done. We could add more light to this if you wanted to. We could take a hint of yellow with some white and then just go along and add a little hint of lighter colour here or there. Just to give it that little bit more of a kick. Do you understand? And that will do fine, look. That's absolutely fine for what we need. Remember, they're so far off in the distance, you're not going to see very much. Now, let's move on and start doing our grass. And I'm just going to mix a basic colour first. Now that's really annoying me, that light behind there. It's really, really annoying me. I have to fix it. Bear with me a moment and I'll try and get this thing sorted. It's just not doing what I was told at all today. Okay, let me try this. I'll put that one there and I'll put one here. So now we have two bits of canvas going. Yeah, that's good. That's fixed it. Right, a nice green now for our grass, a kind of a base colour. I always start off with a kind of a base colour and then I put my lights and my darks on top of that. Let's take some cadmium yellow with a hint of black, okay? And we have a nice medium sort of a green. Isn't that nice? It's a rich kind of a green, but it's not too bright and it's not too dark. I think it's just a nice, soft, kind of middle of the road kind of a green. Black and yellow. And that amazing, you'd never think black and yellow would make such a wonderful green. But it does. I always use black and yellow. Blue and yellow is fine, but it's very, very cold. It makes a very cold green. Now, make it a little darker as it comes forward. That will help with your perspective, okay? As it goes off into the distance, it will get slightly lighter, just a little. And soften it up. There we are. Okay, and then we'll do the same with the other side. So let's just, for now, let's just keep it simple. Let's do the same on the other side. Okay. And a little bit more yellow, little touch of black. And let's go up here again. And give it a little wiggle, look, don't go completely straight with your line. Give it a small little wiggle here and there. And you could even soften it in as well, here and there if you like. I will leave my footpath, I'll just leave that white for now. Just come down to the edge of the footpath like that. Now what I'll do is I'll make it slightly darker here, alright? So I'll take a bit more black, some yellow, and I'll just add that little bit of darker colour just down here. In fact, I might add a hint of blue this time. A hint of blue and a hint of black. And that'll make it nice and rich down at the front, okay? Let's just make it nice and rich down at the front. I'm going to soften that dark colour off into the distance, you see? There we go, and soften it off. Now, so we're starting to get some perspective now already, aren't we? Now the next thing, now that's our basic kind of green in. The next thing I want to do is start creating the light on the grass, and start creating some texture as well also. Yes? Okay, let's try a fan brush. It's probably the simplest of methods to use a fan brush. Let me see if I got a nice clean fan brush around here somewhere. I should have, yes. Nice clean fan brush, okay? Let's take some cadmium yellow with a hint of that white and a hint of turpentine as well, just to help it move a bit nicer and a bit easier for us. I'm going to start off with the light hitting, because it's coming from the left, so I'm going to start off with this. The light is hitting the left hand side here, and I'm going up at a very slight angle, you see? And I'm dabbing very, very, very gently, and let that kind of lift off, and sort of a hit and miss type of a technique. Just dab, 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 let it kind of gently disappear off into the distance. There we go. And this is just creating some nice texture in the field, you see? Now we have a tree here as well, which I quite like. I might try and get that in. So keep going, just dabbing, dab, 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 dab. As it comes closer to you, I'm going to start flicking it like a grassy type of effect, okay? So I'll take a little tiny bit of blue there, and I'm just going to start flicking to give it that sort of grassy effect. So it's a little bit cooler now, the colour. And look, just flicking it up, very short movements, small little flicks. It's just an impression, you see? It's giving you a little impression of little bits of grass sticking up here and there, and it disappears off into the distance then. Now how's that? Isn't that wonderful? Already we're beginning to see that effect, that kind of grassy effect. Now let's do the same on the other side. I mix some more colour, and I'm going to start up on this corner this time and soften it down, because as it turns and comes down, the sunlight will kind of miss this kind of bank. It won't catch it very much. So a bit more up on the left hand side and a bit less down on the right, okay? Now, we go to our little flicking technique. All the way along. Isn't that wonderful? So easy to do, but so effective, isn't it? It gives you some wonderful effects. And I'm just kind of going left and right as I do this. Flicking it left and flicking it right. Now, okay, isn't that looking wonderful so far? Now I want to get some real bright light on some of this land over here, where the sun is kind of really coming down and hitting that ground. So let me just get some more yellow on my palette. And I'm going to dampen my fan brush. I'll take some yellow, perhaps a hint of sienna, and lots of white. And that'll be a nice bright sunny colour now, won't it? So let's just go here. And I'm kind of going up at an angle and turning. So it's kind of following the lay of the field, the way the direction of the field coming down, you see? It's kind of turning down slightly. Now it's only just for this corner here, that's all. And we could put a little bit up on this side as well. So just to kind of complement each side, have similar colours, okay? And it'll help with your composition as well. So you see, doesn't that make a little bit of sense now? And perhaps even a little bit of sunlight coming through down here, just a little hint of it, look. Now, that's fine. The trick is to kind of soften it down slightly. So it's not just a patch of colour. Okay, that's good. We have a nice tree, which I'd like to get in. That's a very nice little tree there, isn't it? So I'm going to take my medium brush, I'm going to dampen that and make a very dark colour again, a very dark green. Some black and some yellow again. And let's just get the general shape of the tree first, okay? You see? So I've just painted the general shape of the tree. That's the general shape. Then I'm going to start adding some light with my smaller brush. So let's take some naples yellow and some sienna. And on the right, the left hand side, I'm just going to start flicking some lighter colour into that. Now I'm not going to use my dabbing technique for this. I'm just going to use this very simple technique. I'm going to kind of flicking the colours in to that darker colour and let it kind of soften in just a little. Look, a couple of little flicks here and there. And this is a nice kind of a loose effect for a tree as well. Very sort of loose. I'm now going to switch to a small brush. Alright. Just a small pointy brush. And start putting a couple of little flicks in here and there. You see? A couple of little flicks. It's just a nice free kind of a style, isn't it? It's nice. It's a nice alternative, I suppose, than doing the dabbing technique all the time. You can do this kind of a technique as well. A couple of little flicks here and there. And then I will probably put some dark in as well. Burnt umber with some black. Just in the shaded areas. Just one or two. And now, we need a shadow, don't we? Everything has to have a shadow. Let's come down here and take some of that dark green and soften it into that ground. Right under that tree. So it's almost disappearing now into the ground, you see? It's merging in. There, how's that? Isn't that wonderful? Nice and simple. There we go. Job done. I might put a hint of light just across there, just a tiny hint, just to refine it, that's all. Okay, let's move on to our footpath. That's quite nice now, I'm quite happy with that. That's lovely, isn't it? We have a nice little footpath up there. I'm going to switch brushes. I'll start off with my little pointy brush here first, just to get the footpath in, okay? So I'll take some Naples yellow, some white, and a hint of burnt umber. Tiny, tiny hint. So very kind of a light, fawn kind of a grey, alright? Very light grey. It's a very warm grey, but it's very light. And off in the distance, I'm just going to start with this, just getting the start of my footpath with this colour. And it disappears off, you see? Soften it with your finger, disappears off into the distance. Now will I zoom in on this for you? Okay, there we go. Isn't that better? So we now have our footpath started, and as it comes down I'm going to switch then to a bigger brush. I'll switch to my my small stubby. Okay, let's take some Naples yellow, a little hint of burnt umber and sienna, and I'm going to use that colour for my footpath. Okay, let's mix up plenty of this now. And a little white. So it's a nice kind of a sandy kind of a colour. And let's go right along and fill this in. Lovely complementary colour, isn't it? This kind of sandy colour with the green. It's a really lovely colour. And I'm really looking forward to doing the competition. I'm just kind of not sure what to paint. If you have any suggestions, do let me know for a competition. I want to do something nice, something kind of Christmassy, I suppose. Wouldn't that be nice? I do have, like, you know, I've my albums on my phone. I have thousands and thousands of photographs and different types of scenes, and winter scenes and summer scenes, and I kind of tend to just sort of browse through that, and if something catches my eye, then I kind of paint that. But you know, I want to paint something that you like as well. Okay, so do let me know if you have anything yourself that you think might make a nice Christmas tutorial for competition as a giveaway. Do let me know, please do. Right, that's the basic footpath done. Now I want to start darkening that as it comes down. I'll basically just take some more burnt umber as it comes down, and I'm going to just soften some burnt umber into it, here and there. Okay, and I'm moving it in the direction of the footpath, so I'm going up with the footpath. You see? Turning the brush as it goes. And take a little hint of that greeny colour, soften that in as well. That's really kind of adding to the composition, helping the colours. So we have hints of different colours, the same colours in different places on the painting, you see. Let's darken it another little tiny bit more here, and I might even add a hint of a kind of a mauvey colour. Now I know you're probably thinking a mauve, but just to complement the purple in the sky, let's take a hint of pink and a hint of blue, and let's just add a little hint of that just in here and there. Look, just at the bottom where it's darker. You see, that's complement the sky now. The colours are helping each other. You see? They really do. Isn't that lovely? Now the next thing I want to do is create this little grassy verge. And it's simple, it really is simple. Look, let's just try it. Let's make it dark green again. Okay? Black and yellow. And just simply flick it up as it goes up and away from you. Give it a couple of flicks, but follow the path, you see, around like that. Simple, isn't it? And obviously as it gets nearer to you, it's going to get thicker and wider, like this. Okay, now how's that? Right, I'm going to put it very dark now just here. Okay. And what you could even do is, you could soften it with your finger along this line here. Look, just soften it right in. So it's almost disappearing into the footpath. You see? And then what I will do is clean my brush, take some bright yellow with some of the light colour, so a bright whitey yellow again, and put some highlight here and there along that. Like so. Isn't that wonderful? Now I'll take a small pointy brush for a moment, and I will add a couple of little stones, that kind of thing, just here and there. Just along the footpath, just closer to us, okay? Just a couple of tiny, tiny little stones here and there. Let's soften some of the edges in. And then I'll add a little light into those as well. Some Naples yellow perhaps. Just a hint. And let's just dab them off into the distance. You see how easy now I'm making all of this? It's all just suggestion. The power of suggestion is wonderful. Okay? It's just about telling the viewer that there's a lot going on. There's little stones, there's little bits of, look, you can even put little hints of grasses here and there. One or two popping out. And you can put a couple more popping out along the edges of the fields. Okay, so look, let's put a couple popping up here and there. Just small ones, small little ones here and there. Just a suggestion. This is a lot of fun, this kind of tutorial, because the techniques are so easy. Anyone can do these techniques. They're really simple techniques. But the results are very dramatic, I think. Okay, how's that looking now? Isn't that wonderful? Let me take a quick look at our photograph now and see how we're doing there. Okay, we need to add little touches of red, don't we? We have some lovely red in this painting, and that's what catches your attention. So let's take some cadmium red, just put a little bit on the fan brush, and let's just add little tiny suggestions of little red flowers. You could call them poppies, I suppose, or they could be just little roses or something. Little touches off in the distance, look. Small, 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 tiny little touches. And as they come closer to you, they'll become kind of thicker and bigger as well. I'll take some crimson as well, I think. Little hint of crimson. And I will take my small brush and put some nice proper ones in then. Something that you can kind of see really properly. So big little clumps, look. So these are really close to us now. Nice big clumps. Lots of paint now on its own, okay? Don't be shy. Just go for it. Have a bit of fun. You see? It's all just a little suggestion of flowers, that's all. Little red poppies, big and small. And there could be even some here and there on the floor. Perhaps the wind blew them across the footpath, something like that. Okay, how's that? I think that's quite nice, isn't it? Now we need to add people walking, because that'll bring some nice life into the painting, won't it? Before I do that, I'm just taking some bright, a kind of a bright orange. So I'm taking a hint of yellow with the red, and I'm just going to add a little hint of that just here and there, just to give a couple of highlights to some of these reds, okay? That'll really catch your eye, won't it? Make it nice and warm and inviting. Okay, now I won't overdo that, that's fine. Okay, people, and you see how simple this tutorial is now and how far it's come along in such a short time. So easy, isn't it? Let's try some burnt sienna for the first person, okay? Let's go here. Alright, burnt sienna. I'll clean my brush. Then I'll add a little black. So it's basically like a little carrot. Okay, it's the shape of a carrot, that's all. You see? Shape of a carrot. Then with a little dot on the top for the head. Okay, a little bit of shade on one side. Then I clean my brush again, and let's go with some Naples yellow and white for the next side. So that's the next person standing next to this person. Clean our brush again. Again, let's take some black. Let's just go simple. Let's keep it simple. Let's use black. Okay, like that. Now, a little bit of hair. So the lady has long hair and the man has short hair. And let's bring his arm around like that. And then we need a bit of shadow, don't we? So let's just take a bit of burnt umber and bring a shadow across to the left. Just like so. Isn't that wonderful? Let's add a hint of light colour just around here on the arm. Perhaps give him a little hat, a little cap or something. That's quite nice, isn't it? A little bit of light down there, a little bit of light there. And I would say that's pretty much almost finished. Let's take a bit of yellow and a bit of white. And let's just add a couple of little flicks of that. Suggest some little leaves here and there on that tree. Just on the bright side, just to make it a bit more, give it more of a 3D shape. And let's add a little white up there. Okay, perhaps one or two tiny little white flowers here and there. just to mix it up. Doesn't have to be red everywhere. Just add just one or two little white ones. And I would say we are pretty much finished. Isn't that lovely? That turned out absolutely wonderful, didn't it? Let's add a bird. I think the painting needs a bird, doesn't it? And that's kind of my trademark, I think. A bird somewhere just finishes it off for me. Little bird up in the corner. And last but not least, you have to sign it, don't you? I come down here and just sign it small. I can fix it later. Done. And let's take a look at what we have achieved in this wonderful painting. Isn't that fantastic? Look at this. Let me go right in here now and show you. Okay, nice simple clouds. Just subtle little shadows here and there on those clouds. Very subtle. A nice simple tree. Simple bushes off in the distance. Isn't that wonderful? And I kept everything nice and simple. It's just dabbing with the brush. You see, that's all it is. Dab, 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 dab. Okay? Just give it a go. And down then onto our little poppies. And there are two little people walking along. Isn't that lovely? And there we are. A nice simple scene, finished. How to create grass in a field. I hope you've enjoyed that. I'll stick a frame on that now and I'll see how it looks, and I will hang this in the restaurant and hopefully somebody might buy it. That would make a nice eye-catching painting on someone's wall, wouldn't you think? Yes, I'm very happy with that. I will just add little tiny touches of highlights on the flowers perhaps, just to bring them out that little bit, give them more punch. So in general, I'm very happy with that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you. If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. There's lots of fantastic tutorials that you're missing. So please do subscribe. And if you wish to support me, I'm on Patreon. If you want to pop over to the link, you can support me there if you like, in a very small way. There's lots of extra tutorials there for you to watch, and lots of interesting techniques as well. So thank you so much. I will see you next week, and leave a suggestion for me for the competition. A nice painting for the competition for next week. I'll try and get it done next week. So I will see you next week then, okay? Happy painting, God bless, and thank you for watching. I'll see you later.